Welcome to Eye on You. Since the establishment of diplomatic relations between China and Brazil, bilateral economic and trade relations have made significant progress. Brazil is the 9th largest trading partner of China, and China has been Brazil's largest trading partner for 14 consecutive years. The long-standing cooperation has greatly fueled the optimism of entrepreneurs from both countries regarding the Chinese market and the prospect of China-Brazil economic and trade cooperation. As BRICS countries, Brazil and China have maintained steady development in their cooperative relationship. The two countries share many common advantages, and their cooperation can be further strengthened in new areas of development.
The relationship between Hong Kong and Brazil are closely intertwined, as Hong Kong has been an important gateway for Brazilian goods entering the mainland Chinese market. Brazilian businesses can leverage the vibrant Hong Kong market as a gateway to enter China. Hong Kong's cultural, commercial, and historical connections with China, as well as the experience and knowledge accumulated by Hong Kong enterprises in domestic business operations, provide unparalleled advantages for Brazilian companies.
Today, we are very honored to invite Mr. Manuel Innocencio Lacerda Santos Jr, the Consul-General of Brazil in Hong Kong, to share his insights on the cooperation potential among BRICS countries and discuss how to further enhance economic cooperation and commercial connections between Brazil and Hong Kong, thus promoting economic development and strengthening people-to-people friendship between Brazil and China. Hello, Mr. Santos. Welcome to our show today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So, first of all, can you provide us some more about information about the current cooperation potential between Brazil and other BRICS countries?
Well, you know, Brazil is, of course, very proud of being one of the original members of BRICS. Brazil is proud of being one of the countries that formed the name BRICS, right? It's, of course, it's a very, very important part of Brazil's international presence. It's democratization of international governance. It's an important aspect of South-South dialogue, and these 5 new members that are coming in will reinforce that dialogue. So Brazil is very excited of being presiding next BRICS, so it's of course much responsibility, lots of diplomatic coordination, and we are very excited about that. Yes, Brazil sees BRICS as a very important consolidation of South-South dialogue.
So talking about the promotion, so how can Brazil and Hong Kong work together as to promote economic development and also to enhance or strengthen our friendship?
Yes, the main thing is that Brazil and Hong Kong know very little about each other. We really should know each other more. Hong Kong knows that Brazil is somewhere over the ocean in South America. Brazil, I don't think maybe people know that Brazil speaks Portuguese. They know that Brazil has samba, they know that Brazil has football, but not much more. And Hong Kong to Brazilians is something far, very intriguing, of course, but there's so much more about Hong Kong that Brazilians would love. We should really get the two societies together, because there are many things that we can share.
Like music, food, art, appreciation.
Hong Kong is absolutely one of the first things that impressed me most about Hong Kong in '77 when I came, is how cosmopolitan the city is. You can find food from everywhere, restaurants from every sort of countries that did not even know existed. You find a restaurant here. So Hong Kong is absolutely fantastic, fantastic. Yeah.
Are there any specific initiatives or projects in place that Brazil is planning to do to foster economic cooperation between Hong Kong and Brazil, or maybe any short-term, long-term plans?
Yes, well, we have just managed to put into action Brazil-Hong Kong Chamber of Commerce. So this is really going to make open possible cooperation, identify items where we can cooperate. It will bring us together. I think this is really, I'm really excited about having been able to put this chamber in function. We're beginning to operate this year in 2024.
Yeah. So what are the obstacles or hurdles for us to make us to strengthen our economic ties between Brazil and Hong Kong?
Hong Kong is a very important gateway to China, right? Brazil and China commerce, trade is very, very important. China is Brazil's first economic partner, trade partner, and Brazil is China's 9th in the world and first in South America. So it is very important. And better knowledge between each other is essential, right? So that's basically it.
Mm. Do you think that the cultural or historical connections between Hong Kong and China can actually foster the business and trade between Brazil and Hong Kong?
Of course, yes. It is really very important because I don't know if you know that, but our consulate here in Hong Kong is very old. It's from the 50s. So we have always been very close, and especially now since 1997, we are even closer because of the gateway to China. You know that Brazil and China are commemorating 50 years of diplomatic relations this year. And I am also commemorating 50 years of foreign service this year. I entered the Foreign Service in 1974, not yet as a diplomat, but as an administrative officer. So I got the privilege of working in the reception of the first Chinese mission to Brazil when the diplomatic relations were established. So I was working in 1974 when the Chinese mission came. So it is, I'm old. I'm old.
Experience.
It is really very important. The Hong Kong is very important because the one country, two systems gives even better way of Brazilians to get familiarized with China through Hong Kong. There are many different aspects of Brazil-China trade, and which also explain why Hong Kong is so important. Brazil and China trade had around $150 billion last year. Almost half of that is limited to soybeans, crude oil, and iron ore.
Iron ore.
Almost 50% of that. If you aggregate animal protein, then it's over 50%. So it's too concentrated. Trade with Hong Kong specifically is a bit more diversified. For example, animal protein is much more active, and of course the prices, the Brazilian prices are much less than others. Yeah. For example, Japanese beef costs a little bit more than Brazilian, 40 times more.
40 times.
A little bit more. So Hong Kong is really very important. It also makes, because of the one country, two systems, it makes it more familiar to the Brazilian normal businessman to get adapted to the whole China system. So Hong Kong is very, very important.
So with such a solid legal framework in Hong Kong, the one country, two system, can you share some successful stories between the two places, economic cooperation between Hong Kong and Brazil?
I think the thing that most immediately comes to my mind is agricultural products, because Hong Kong is really our very important partner. Hong Kong imports more than our neighbor Paraguay. So Hong Kong is really very important in that aspect. So it's really, and it's also because of how the Hong Kong market is made. People are more high financial availability. It's really, if I start talking about how incredible Hong Kong is, I would never stop talking. You send me away.
If we would like to attract more business from Brazil to Hong Kong, what do you think that we can do, or are there any strategies or are there any measures that we shall do in order to attract more business from Brazil to Hong Kong? Yeah.
Yes, I think that I think we are on the right way. I have great confidence in this Brazilian Hong Kong Chamber of Commerce. I think we really should get to know each other together more. But the best thing we do, like I said, Hong Kong has to be better known by Brazilians. So I think Hong Kong could do. Hong Kong already had the HKDC has an office in Brazil. Right. That would be very important to make Hong Kong better known to Brazilians. Right? Slowly things are getting on the way. We already have some Brazilian companies here in Hong Kong. We have Havaianas, who makes those slippers. We have Boticário, who makes cosmetics. We have CSN, like iron ore. We have Pátria, sells different things. And so we have Bradesco, Banco Bradesco. So we have some companies established in Hong Kong. And what Hong Kong could do is just really attract some more by making Hong Kong, making itself better known, better in Brazil. Lack of knowledge of each other is really something we're trying to fight against.
May I ask one more question? What do you think that the office that we have in Brazil can do better so that the Brazilian people can know more about Hong Kong?
I think Hong Kong is so little known that anything they do. No, really. I think should really work more towards diminishing the distance, shortening distance between the two countries. I think that should be they should concentrate on. On our side, we're trying to make Brazil better known in Hong Kong in all areas. Few people know that Brazil has classical music, and I just made talks with the Hong Kong government. We're trying to incentivize the presence of Brazilian classical music in Hong Kong. In other aspects, for example, gastronomy. Gastronomy, something that an exchange is very important. Cultural decoration, sports. I think there are many things that could act together, that we could work together and make each other know, so that our societies can communicate more and can then identify areas where they could.
True.
So for the future, is there any upcoming event or is there any business delegation coming to Hong Kong from Brazil for them to explore more collaboration opportunities?
Well, there are always plans, but nothing yet signed. But especially now that it's not even 1 year after the COVID was over. It was really very, very difficult to get things going on. Now things are going slowly. Things are going to get better. We had already some missions coming to China. Things are really getting better. We have a few governors of Brazilian states planning visits to China and Hong Kong. So things are really getting on the way here.
Thank you very much for your time. We hope that we can invite you over sometimes again when you are free. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. It was a great pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.